All right, guys and gals. This is the start of the Allis WD45 restoration project here. I just got done splitting that 1586 this morning. Had some coffee, ate some food, refueled a little bit. Now we're gonna start on this WD45. Not gonna do much tonight. I think we're just gonna take some panels off and kind of set some stuff aside and sort of just assess what we got going on. But we got a bunch of boxes over here in the corner of the shop with in-frame kit and parts manuals, shop manuals, all that stuff. Got my shop dogs here to help. Got Callie over there and Camille here. Anyways, yeah, I think we're just gonna start disassembly and just catalog and really just kind of sort of drink it all up and figure out what the heck we got here. So let's get to it. All right, guys, we got the exhaust off. That was just dangling, so just pulled that up. Air intake, we got that pulled off. There's 4 bolts on the back side we had to get to. Not too bad, but we just kind of got everything soaked down right now. I don't know anything I could really get at whether I need to or not for now. Might as well just get everything soaked down and just get it ready to get taken apart. But for now, we're gonna focus on trying to get this hood off, and it should come off. Yeah, see, it's almost off now. This strap, I tried taking it off, but there's only, I'll show you, a little bitty flathead screws, it's one big clamp basically, and those are frozen to hell on there. So we're just gonna try to there we go, she's off. Let's get it all the way off here. Cool. So this is my first look at it too. This should be interesting. Alrighty. Cool. Basically, what I'm wanting to do is kind of just start stripping the engine, I think. I mean, we can still try to get some of this stuff off here. All the tin as much as possible, you know, the gas tank, really anything that we can sort of get at. I'm gonna leave that stuff alone for now, but we're just gonna focus our attention up front here for the foreseeable future. I'd really like to get this thing prepped for paint, but also I really want to get this in-frame done. And then cosmetics, I mean, it's going to be super straightforward. It's just going to be a matter of, actually, if you see up there, that blue hose, that's a dustless sandblasting kit I bought. I haven't used yet, but I got that. It hooks into my 4,000 PSI pressure washer. So we'll basically, I don't really know what order I want to do it in. I'm probably just going to save that for last, but basically the whole thing is just going to be sandblasted and dustless sandblasted. So it should turn out very nice, and all the tin is super straight on this thing. I don't think we're going to have to do much body work at all. There's some dumb stuff like that, but I mean, the tin is super straight. Couple little minor imperfections, but nothing that hammer and dolly and maybe a couple tack welds here or there. But other than that, I mean, it's gonna be a cool little project. So let's get started on tearing a little bit more of this front half apart. I'd like to get that gas tank off and this radiator shroud off as well. Let's get started on that. Alrighty, we got all the tin off up front here for the most part. Got the thermostat off, the power steering pump. Let's see, gas tank, a couple of hydraulic lines. The ignition system is mostly off. I just got a couple more things to take off there. The radiator, I got one bolt off of this side for the bottom radiator support. I got one left over there, but it's pretty well froze up, so I'm gonna let it sit overnight with some PB Blast. Other than that, it's ready to come off. Fuel is all disconnected. I just got the exhaust unbolted. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Yep. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Oh boy. Oh yeah. I don't know if you can see that, but you see that valve in there. Holy cow. This is gonna be a fun one. That cylinder's good. Two middle ones. Yeah, two middle valves are just gonna be a bugger. But that's all right. This is all gonna get ripped off and we can just, we can smash them out and out with the old, in with the new. So I'm gonna take the valve cover off now, and I'd like to try to get the head off tonight and see what we're working with at least. I think this in-frame is gonna go pretty quick. So yeah, we'll just, I'll check back in when I get all that top end apart, and we'll just go from there. I did drain the coolant too. I just found the other petcock, which is down here. But I drained everything up until this point. Everything below that, there's still probably going to be some residual left, but we are good to go to move forward, at least for the top end. And then tomorrow morning, once hopefully that bottom radiator support bolt breaks free, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can drain the rest of the fluid out. So yeah, we'll be back in a little bit. All right, we just got the valve cover bolts off. I got it all kind of cracked loose here. It was, it was pretty stuck on there. All right, let's see what we're working with. Wow. A lot nicer than I was expecting. I thought that was gonna be all rusted up. Let's see, let me put this down. Holy cow. That's beautiful, honestly. Huh. Awesome. I'm gonna get this all vacuumed up, all this dirt in there dropped in. But I'm gonna get all that other dirt cleaned up and get these plugs out and start disassembling the top end and then try to get this head off tonight. I'd really like to do that. And then kind of see what we're working with. I know this this engine is stuck up pretty good, so I'm sure it's going to be a bugger to get these pistons out, but that'll be a tomorrow problem. Alrighty, we got the head off. We got some serious issues here. A little mouse house in there. Coolant passageway is completely plugged up. Actually, two pistons or two cylinders that are not bad, but there's our reason right there. We're doing a rebuild, so we'll let's see if I can hold the flashlight and do this. There's where I had to smack a little pry bar in here. Nice. All right, we'll rip this off completely and take another look. Alrighty, this is night number 2 We had marble sitting in there. Pretty much, I don't know, a couple days now at this point. We just got the motor broke free. I don't have the crank handle for this, so I just slid this over it. But anyways, it didn't really take much. I had to beat on top of that piston a little bit. I rocked the tires back and forth with it in gear, and then there was actually a little shear pin on the rod that goes from there into the crankshaft pulley. That shear pin was sheared, so I knocked that out and just put a bolt in there for now, just so that it wouldn't keep shearing. But let's see if I can get this set up, and I don't know if you can see it moving or not, but she's pretty crunchy, but at least it's moving. So good news there. So let's move on from here and let's get the oil pan off. I got my liner pullers here so that we can drop the oil, take the connecting rods and all that good stuff, or take the caps off the connecting rods. We're gonna organize those and number them and keep them for every single cylinder that we pull them out. We're gonna make sure they go back in the same exact order, just like the push rods I got up there. They're all numbered for each cylinder, so they go back in the right spot. So I'll get you reset up here and watch me go to work. Alrighty, so quick update. I definitely didn't plan on the drain bolt being absolutely rounded off as bad as it was, so I had to take my air chisel in a ton of heat just to break the frickin' thing loose. So, but here we are. I'm gonna see the oil for the first time. Probably gonna be a ton of water, I would imagine. Oh, that's surprising. I'd have bet there'd been a ton of water in there, but that's good news. So we'll have to get a new drain bolt, but that's easy enough. So, all right, I'll get reset up, and I'm gonna grab some tools to take the oil pan off. And I do got my liner puller up top still. We'll get that set up next, and I'd like to get these pistons and sleeves out tonight, and then we'll go from there. Okay, we're back. I'll put this plug back in. Oh, drip oil all over my face. I think Camille's gonna help us. Baggy all these as we go. Alrighty, cross member is out. Drain pan, oil pan is out. Awesome. Cool. him doesn't look bad at all. Nothing looks super worn. Yeah, nothing looks super worn. Like, it should be pretty straightforward. You just kind of swap and replace some parts, and heck yeah. Nice. All right, we'll start taking these caps off, and I'm gonna have to kind of get up and down and up and down and up and down to relabel all these and organize them in chronological order here. So let me do that, and then I'll get right back to pushing pistons out through the top and pulling liners. So I'll be right back. All right, update time. We got all the pistons knocked out. This was the stuck one. The rest of them were free. When I had filled each cylinder with a little bit of marble just over the top like that, it all drank it down except for this guy. So anyways, this is the culprit. I haven't even really looked at it yet, but oh yeah, that's pretty bad. The rest of the engine looks really good though, to be honest. So getting those all in order. Got the sleeve puller in action right now. I haven't really had to use this puller yet, but it's pretty, sorry about that, pretty tough going. I've had to use a little extension, which not a big deal, but you can see it's coming. It's coming. All the rest are down flat, and I am happy that this is a sleeved engine, because otherwise it would be a pretty costly rebuild. These sleeves really save the budget. So nice and easy to drop a new set of liners in there, and there we go. It's going a lot easier now. Beautiful. So there's one sleeve pulled. Cool. All right. We'll reset and do the rest of them. Down the bottom. Just a little bit of residual coolant left. Pretty muddy looking stuff. Awesome. We'll just make a little scrap pile for those. Those are just scrap metal at this point, so let's get you looking down here before I cut the camera. Oh yeah, that needs to be flushed. So when we get this motor all done, we'll do a bunch of coolant flushes and get that all cleaned out nice. So let's get the rest of these liners pulled. Check back in a little bit. Alrighty, we are halfway through the valve train disassembly. Pretty easy going. I got about halfway through it last night and decided to call it quits so that I could sort of show you guys today. Kind of a finicky tool. I've just been using the magnet. I usually compress it. I'll show you. I don't think you could probably see. There you go. And we get the keepers out of there, toss those to the side. Don't need those. And then you can decompress that, let the spring back out. And once that's out, you can auto eject, it looks like. You can push these valves out, and they are pretty dirty in there. It's about as bad as it gets, I would say, minus having a cracked head or something like that. So it's pretty bad. We're gonna have to do quite a bit of cleaning on this head. Luckily, I don't see any cracks or nothing. Just dirty, nasty. You can see this is where our stuck cylinder was, stuck piston rather. I'll see all the moisture, but the other ones are actually pretty good. Just one out of 4, so those are pretty decent odds. So anyways, you get the gist of this. We're gonna be cleaning this up just with a wire wheel, and we'll get that nice. We'll check it for flatness once we get it all cleaned up. But the deck checked out good. That was all nice and flat, and it never had overheating issues or nothing. It just got parked up when the gentleman passed away, and it's just been sitting. So everything should still be within spec. I'm not too worried about it. But we'll get this cleaned up, all the new valves in it, and before I get it all buttoned up, I'll jump to when I'm reinstalling the new valves, and I'll punch out the old valve guides, get the new ones installed. And then what we'll do is I'll get my lapping compound, which should be right here. We use this compound. It's got a lot of grit in it. So what you do is you just put a thin layer. We'll just say these are the new valves, which obviously they're not, but you get a thin layer or a rubbing compound around it. Basically just, I think that's the wrong valve. It's an exhaust valve. And you have to put your tool on it. What I do is I put my drill chuck on this, and I just slowly work it in and out. So as the valve's spinning, it's lapping, and it's creating a new seat around the lip of this valve, which you can see where this head, which actually this valve isn't that bad, it's just carbon built up on it. But these valves and the seats are probably still pretty good. Judging by these valves, they're not all, it's just all carbon buildup, but it's not all divoted in like some of them you see that are just real bad. But anyways, we'll get back to it.